how tonight is going to run. So if you click on discussion boards, can be found on Blackboard, you will see that new threads have been created. Free write gender, discussion gender, free write sexuality, discussing sexuality, major takeaways. So as you see, there's sort of 5 different threads that we're working through this evening, which lasts for about half an hour. When you click into the first thread, free write gender, you're going to be expected to spend about, again, half an hour between 5:30 and 6 o'clock. What you'll find is that there's going to already be a prompt that I have. We're going to be watching 2 commercial clips to help spur some dialogue about gender. And so what will happen, or rather what you're expected to do, is to do a free write as you would in class, except this time you are actually sharing this free write. So you want to be mindful of sort of what you're saying, because you are going to be sharing it with the class. As you post your free writes, however, in the half hour, you're expected to also respond to some of the other free writes that are being posted. And that way, we'll have a lot of different conversations all happening at once. Try and get to as many posts as you can. Try and keep dialogue moving. Try and keep it, expanding. Again, it might, because there are a lot of conversations that are happening at once, it will sort of it might seem confusing. Ride the wave of confusion, because it will sort of all make sense at the end. We'll be able to sort of tie it up in that last section called major takeaways. So if you're going to be spending the first half hour in the free write gender, there's another prompt that you'll find in the beginning of gender discussion. And we will, again, you'll respond to some of the questions that I have, some of the major points or rather general points that I added in the beginning of that thread. And you are posting, you're responding to each other, you're responding to myself. I will also be in discussion, sort of making different connections between some of your points. And so you're expected to, again, ride the wave of confusion, because there's a lot of conversations going to be happening at once. That last thread that you'll see by the time we hit 7:30 is called major takeaways. So what you're doing in major takeaways is you are sort of going back to that earlier conversation, which really is about 15 different conversations, and you are saying to yourself, well, what's the major takeaway? And since we're going through 2 main topics, you're going to be thinking about what are 2 main takeaways that you got out of talking about gender and that you got talking about sexuality. So I have the actual time frames alongside each thread. When the time comes, I will let everybody know when we are moving on to the next section. So you want to make sure that you're looking out for the thread that I post, particularly when it's reaching 6 o'clock, 6:30, 7, and 7:30. Okay? Yes, so again, ride the wave of confusion, because there's going to be a lot of different conversations happening at once. But I promise it will be something very fruitful, and we'll make some time next week to sort of wrap up all of the rich station that I know we're going to have tonight. Okay, make sure you read well. It's short readings for today, and yes, just some reminders that your next papers are due for next week. Hopefully this week to also work on PSAs, because those are also due next week. We have a busy finale, so let's finish strong, okay? Take care.